So Summit 1 has broken up with the SC community. He's had his fill. The time has come to an end, conspicuously around the 1 month mark of playing the game, by the way. I mentioned that just because, if, theoretically, if a company was going to pay a streamer to stream their game, they might pick a kind of like a nice round number, of like, let's say around 1 month to do it. But anyway, I'm not really going to go push that any further. But Summit has broken up with the FC community. He may come back a little bit, but we just like, can we have some F's in chat for the SC community and this recent breakup they're going through, and we're gonna get into it. We're gonna have a little look into, look through the window of the Summit's house, his household, and see the state of affairs with him and his domestic relationship with SC, and see what we can learn from that.
I still can't wrap my head around that. I can fall through the floor. My ship can blow up to invisible asteroids. Anything in the actual game, it's fine. But when you are under a system that doesn't allow you to play the rest, that system should fucking work. And I stopped playing it today because it has been broken, and I got to my last fucking level for it, dude. Whatever the fuck you call it, dude.
Just want to quickly mention this video is from 7 days ago. So he was talking about stopping playing the game due to being fed up with it long before yesterday, which is when he really stopped playing. He's been talking about quitting playing Star Citizen for weeks now, because he keeps running into instance after instance of just some soul crushing, unplayable experience that he had just suffered.
I'm at the end of my ability to handle that, the end of my wit, whatever the fuck you call it. I just cannot handle prison constantly being broken, and just thinking about a few devs not fixing it hurts me.
Yes.
Like, I just...
That is sort of like what's so infuriating about the whole situation with SC is, as much as I want to like the game and I want it to work so I can enjoy it, I have to experience how unplayable and broken and trash it is, knowing that there are devs out there with jobs being paid by the company that would have to just be knowing that all this is the way it is, and they just let it go. They just let it be the way it is. Like, they're happy apparently to just let the game be in the state that it's in, and allow players like Summit, like me, like many others, who are having these same sort of like soul crushing experiences and being turned off to the game completely, perhaps permanently. There's many cases it's permanent. Like, and I just quickly want to address some of the people that are often in the comments of my videos, like these, with all these incredibly brain dead comments. Some of which Summit's actually, some of these clips is going to be of Summit reacting to, like the kinds of comments I've seen in my comment sections alone. Like, just these people coming in like, you don't understand development. You're just a negative. You're just blah 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 blah. Like, please, it's like, tell me you've spent thousands of dollars on the game without telling me. The only people who say shit like this are people that have spent thousands of dollars on the game, such that they've got these dollar bill constructed blinders on the sides of their eyes, and they can only look straight forward at just the bullshit that CIG feeds to them, and then they just regurgitate that without even knowing what the hell they're talking about. I was seeing it even in Summit's streams. There's people who were defending the game who were just didn't even know what the fuck they were saying. They were just regurgitating something they saw somebody from CIG write or something, or they saw in some kind of dev stream or something. Like, Summit would say to them, oh really, this is the way it's supposed to work? Well, then explain to me how I get it to work that way, or how I can experience the game, or can you give me an example of what you're talking about? And they never can. They can never extrapolate on what the hell they're saying. All they know is that little talking point.
Specific type of interaction and nothing else. I'm only looking for one specific type of interaction and nothing else. That's not true. I'm looking for any and all ships right now.
Okay, so he's commenting on what somebody said in his chat, accusing him of only looking for a very niche kind of content.
I've gone to Microtech to look at Shubin mining facilities for people mining. I was doing shit at a spaceport. I was at Pickers. I was at Rappel. We went to fucking Devlin's. We went to Brio.
And just to be clear, this is him starting to break up. This is part of his breaking up with SC. Just it gets in depth. By the end of it, I mean, I know I felt like I was being broken up with in a way, just because he was bitching in the way he was bitching for so long, and all his bitches were fair, completely fair. But you know, it still didn't change the fact that's the way it made me feel, or probably the way everybody listening felt.
We've now checked the fucking asteroid fields for anybody. What are you talking about? You only want PvP. Brother, man, yeah, some people play the game like that. And you act like that's like some crazy thing. If there was nobody that was seeking PvP, your universe would be boring as fuck, farming rocks for nothing. You don't even have a risk. Part of the fun is the risk. So what are you on about?
I mean, some guy in his chat's like, all you want is PvP, as if that's some kind of retort for him basically saying how negative, like having a very negative take on SC because of how his experience is really unenjoyable and broken. So he's wanting his PvP Sea of Thieves like talk and pirating and whatnot, which is realistic for him to expect, especially in a sim. You would think that the sky's the limit and you can do shit like that, which it is. But his point is that these interactions and encounters, the kind that he's going for, are just so soul crushingly few and far between, and he's just got nothing. He feels like he's just wasting his time because he's just waiting for something to happen for hours on it. But what's kind of noteworthy, like everybody gets that, like, but what's noteworthy is the way like some white knight SC moron chirps up in chat like, "Oh, all you want to do is PvP. Like, game is great. It's your issue. It's your issue." It's like, no, motherfucker, that's not his issue. That's the game's issue. If you want the game to be good for everybody, it's got to be attractive to the PvPers to add that element of danger and risk and realism. You want that. That's realism. And I mean, a lot of SC fans, longtime fans will know too. There's a history in this game of like people complaining, like Care Bears essentially, people who don't want any. Basically, they're advocating for having no PvP in the game. They just wanted everything to be advantage towards they want the Care Bears to be advantage in every single way and be safe to do what they do at all times. And it's just more kind of brain dead thinking from like the average SC White Knight.
This game it's infuriating playing this fucking game.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
So, I mean, that's the exact word that I've used many times to describe my experience playing the game. And then here we got Summit just actually using the exact word to describe his experience.
This game it's infuriating playing this fucking game, to be honest with you. Fucking stupid, bro. You literally can't do fucking anything, bro. Everything in this game has to waste your fucking time. Just because shit doesn't work, man. It's crazy. Something so fucking simple, I can't fill up my fucking tank at a mining facility. baffling, dude. Absolutely fucking baffling.
I mean, this has been a problem in the game for a long time. Like repairing your ship, refueling your ship in past patches has actually been far worse. And it's like it's such a basic function that has to be in the game. And it's still fucking broken. Like, what are these people doing with the hundreds of millions that's being thrown at them? And speaking of that, I'm going to show a clip of Burks because I just happened to be watching Burks stream. And the dude encounters like this crazy amount of like unplayableness in the game. And I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments like, "Oh, but you just picked one clips from Burks, like you're just picking the one bad one, the 1 out of 100, and you're so negative." It's like, motherfucker, if I really wanted to watch Burks, I could clip hundreds of clips of him encountering something like unacceptably bad about how the game plays. Anybody could. Like, he's running into these bugs just as much as anybody else. They're just as bad as when he encounters them as when anybody else does. There's nothing misleading about showing this in any way, shape, or form about how bad the game is. And I'm also picking on Burks here because I heard him say something so incredibly fucking brainwashed and just exposing him for being just a complete SC White Knight that I have to bring it up. So I heard him talking about the amount of money that has been spent on Star Citizen for its development. You know, obviously being towards 700 million now. And he's like, that's just a drop in the bucket compared to what other games had, you know. And it's like, what? What kind of nonstop feed of farts are you huffing where your brain is deprived of oxygen for so long where you could possibly utter something so moronic as that and so detached from reality as that? And he's saying stuff like, drawing these false equivalencies between games after their full release making like billions even. And of course those are rare. Those are rare games to even do that, but how can you compare a game, what it makes after its full release from the sales of the game to and like whatever they buy in the game after its full release to how much money a game has for its development? Because like if you're trying like, that's just so comparing apples to oranges. And the fact he just did that, just rhyme that off like it was ready to go. Like you probably heard somebody say, like, this is the kind of shit that these white knights in their echo chambers fucking regurgitate and spit in each other's mouths back and forth. It's actually pathetic. So like he's trying to deny that SC has had an embarrassing amount of money in terms of like having way too much money having for its development. But then he's comparing that to like how much games have made after they've been developed fully and then have been released and then ultimately made down the road. Does anyone see how stupid that is besides me? Like, SC has had record-breaking amounts of money for its development. It's number one by leaps and fucking bounds. And he's like, oh, Fortnite made $2 billion. How much money did Fortnite have for its development in the first place? Even anything remotely close to SC? Did it have any? Did it use even remotely the same amount of time to develop the game that SC has had so far? No. You can't compare these two things just because it ends up being a huge success after it's released. If anything, that makes SC look even worse because it's had so much more put into it to make something better, yet is still falling so far behind these other games. In that way, like, it's people don't want to play it as much. despite having all that extra money put into development that these other games didn't have, let alone the time. But here's Burks here.
Bro, what is this?
Watch, compare his reaction here to how Summit reacts when he would encounter something not even as bad as this. And this is like your typical White Knight SC reaction, SC White Knight reaction compared to like somebody who's actually being honest about what they're engaging with.
Why do I only have 7 bullets?
And you know what? Summit's actually still sugarcoating things a lot. He's still being very diplomatic about what he says. And anyway, you'll see the difference. Okay.
Why do I only have...
So he's about to pirate a guy. And he pulls his gun out and he sees 7 bullets. Okay. He's expecting to see a full clip plus magazines, but something happened probably with the game that made all that mess up.
What is this? Why do I only have 7 bullets?
Now he's struggling to like get some kind of gun with some bullets before this guy gets away. And he's been waiting here for like probably an hour or more for this opportunity.
Dude, I'm gonna die.
He's got no bullets. Oh, look. There's a clip, but... Oh, it's not reloading. Typical SC fucking nonsense. Like...
I got him! Oh my god, I got him.
Let's go. You need the ramp open? Or
yes, I need the ramp open.
So you notice how he's focusing on that he killed the guy? Which, by the way, is actually another bug. Like, he should have known the guy was dead. But because of, like, the amount of desync that's in Star Citizen being so extreme and so mind-blowingly awful compared to every other game anybody's ever played, like, that's just so normal for him to, like, experience that amount of desync. He's not even reacting to that. He's just like, oh, the dude's dead. I'm just so happy. Like, because he has such low expectations for his own game, he's not even reacting to that desync thing, let alone the fact that he's trying to reload his weapon, but the game's so fucking unplayable, it won't even let him reload the goddamn gun.
Dude, chat, I cannot believe that. Where did my bullets go? Where did my other gun go?
And let alone his other gun that had a full clip in it with spare ammo on his belt prior to all this. And then that was just gone somehow? Like GG Star Citizen, man.
Chat? What the heck?
Like,
dude, I'm gonna die.
Look at this shit. Like 1, 2, 3. Fucking.
Dude, I'm gonna die. I got him. Oh my god, I got him.
Let's go.
So fucking
you need the ramp open?
Yes, I need the ramp open. Okay. Dude, chat, I cannot believe that. Where did my bullets go?
Yeah, I cannot believe that either, but for totally different reasons than he's willing to say. Right.
Shit.
I remember why I wanted to show this. So, we're going to see a very genuine reaction here from Summit, and then I'm going to explain like what it is that he's thinking at that time.
Oh, we're dead.
Because Summit is very expressive, but not always with words.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was fine. The condensation, I was like, ah.
So he crashes, and he's just like, soul crushing, because now he's anticipating, like I was saying with the way, you know, it's annoying to kind of do some immersive things after a while, like after you've experienced it a bunch of times and the novelty's gone. He's sort of like, he's feeling it. Like, he's feeling like, oh god, I wish I could just skip this next time so I don't have to like go, maybe even die again in a stupid way. Face palm. Wants to not play anymore. I mean, how many people have moaned like that debating with themselves whether they wanted to even play the game anymore. And like, how many games can you say that you have that same kind of thing when you play it? Like, I can't think of a single game where I'm like, I don't even want to play. Maybe Ark. Like, if I would die and then have to go get my body and whatever or something. But like, look at this. And the reason he doesn't actually click on it, and he's like that's like he's debating with himself. He's like, I would want to play the game. Like, I kind of do want to play it because it can be fun, but like, the truth of the matter is, the experience I'm gonna have is probably gonna suck. But maybe it won't. Is it worth like putting myself through it and spending my time to maybe get some fun out of it? That's the debate we're having with ourselves in that moment.
Right? So that even makes the window even smaller for the only fucking window that you even have.
So he's just talking about his experiences like pirating.
I hate to say it, but the best way to pirate in this game is from the space station. It's your most consistent. It's the most numbers. You're playing the best numbers game you can at a space station.
And the fact that he's figured that out is bad. He's not saying, "Oh, I figured it out. I figured out the best way to park, guys. This is great. Now we can just do that and extract as much enjoyment out of the game as I possibly can." No, he's saying that because like the way that he's figured out is the best is a way that sucks, and he doesn't even want to do it because it sucks, but yet it's still the best because all the rest of the shit, which he would rather, other ways that he would rather try to pirate, they suck even more due to this, that, or the other thing.
It's kind of sad. It was just a joke at the beginning, but it's the best way to pirate. You want to sit there for an hour in the middle of space with your two buddies staring at your friend's name, waiting for it to turn red? Do you want to sit at Pickers Field and rappel, fucking crossing your fingers, hoping for a C2 to come by? Instead, it's just a fucking Titan showing up trying to find rare armor, or has the quest to murder the whole fucking town while you're just sitting there with your dick in your hands. This guy's playing the game, and you're waiting for the game.
Yeah. What's most notable about that clip is just that his experience is a negative one.
Or has the quest.
He's just having a negative, bad time with the game, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. The way the game's designed, it sort of advantages the Care Bears a bit. I don't mind that, but like, all the other shit that makes the game unplayable, on top of the fact that Summit trying to play the game the way he wants to, which is not even a weird way to play the game. Like, it's not an unreal expectation that someone would want to play the game that he wants to play. It's very expected, actually. And his way of playing the game should be a way that's definitely thought out by the devs and protected. But just the kind of overall thing here is, it's not really so much like anything is that bad about the way it's designed in this particular way, let alone how it's just unplayable. Like, just forget about all that. Just looking at his specific complaint here, which is that it's sort of annoying for him to actually play the game in the way that he wants to play it. It's just the main takeaway from this is just that he's having a bad time. And this is him leading up to the breakup, so. Now, Salty Mike played some clips from Summit in his own stream earlier, I noticed.
Salty.
And basically, Salty Mike was sort of reacting to being broken up with Although he wasn't like speaking about it in those exact terms, but that's essentially what he was reacting to. And he took it pretty well. He took it on the chin. But anyway, let's listen to Summit.
Salty Mike thinks the very best way to find people farming salvage is to go to the Grimhex Miner's Lament like field of asteroids, right, and go back and forth 20 kilometers until you find fucking Joe Schmo who just didn't want to fucking jump somewhere into deep space. And that's who you might find that have fucking 20 SKU on him. He's just trying to feed his family. And that's who you can find.
Right. So what's noteworthy about this is he's bringing up Salty Mike because Salty Mike, the point of bringing him up is that Salty Mike is a big streamer of the game, one of the biggest ones. Maybe the biggest one, I don't even know, but Salty Mike has some expertise about Star Citizen. You have to understand that as one of the biggest streamers, as he knows a lot about the game. He's not the best in every single way, but he knows a lot about the game. And Summit's mentioning him because he's like, look, here's one of the most knowledgeable people about the game, telling me, advising me, recommending to me this particular way to try to find people to pirate them. And this particular way still sucks. So like basically saying the best advice you can get about how to do the kind of thing that I'm trying to do, the pirating and whatnot, is all telling you to do shit that still sucks. So like there's nothing. He's just sort of like expressing this frustration, like there's no actual good way to do what he wants to do. It just doesn't exist. And that's according to Salty Mike, one of the biggest streamers. Or at least that's what Summit is saying.
Show up at SPK. Yeah? No, what I'm looking for, I'm trying to play the numbers game. How do you find the people mining? How do you find the people salvaging? How do you find the people doing everyday life, right? Trying to get their money up, right?
Right, so he's obviously going in. He's showing that he's really trying to, like, figure it out. He's not just, like, taking one or two cracks at it and then giving up. No, like, he's showing, like, I am racking my brain. I am spending days on end trying to figure a way, experimenting on how to find the people in order to be able to pirate the way that I'm trying to pirate, or just to pirate it at all. He's just kind of like showing like he has put every single thing into it. He's given his best shot. It's almost like in a breakup when you're like trying to explain to your partner, like, you know, I'm making every reasonable effort to make this work, but it's just still not working because of you, basically.
No, what I'm looking for, I'm trying to play the numbers game. How do you find the people mining? How do you find the people salvaging? How do you find the people doing everyday life, right? Trying to get their money up, right? I can't find those fucks. That's who I want to rob. Okay? I don't want to rob the rich guy, you know, coming in for fucking his $2 million at RMC anymore. I want to find the guy trying to feed his family, you know what I'm saying? Barely getting by, doesn't expect anyone to show up, and then boom, I'm there. That's what I want. Okay? That's what I'm looking for. That's who I want to kill, right? Kill, you know, find in the game. Those are the people you should realistically somehow.
Yeah, his expectations here are very, very, very minimal. He's got very minimal He just wants to find people doing the shit, right? He just wants to be able to pirate people. He's not looking for the big score per se. You know, he would like to get those, and he's prepared to get those too. But he's just saying, like, look, I'm just trying to get anybody at this point. Like, just a Joe Blow trying to feed his family, or like he's a jobber. You know, he's just doing regular shit. You know, like anybody. He's got very low expectations for, you know, what the kind of guy he's going to encounter, and he's still not going hours on end with nothing to show for it.
It's embarrassing, actually.
All right. So embarrassing, right? So this is really cutting to the core of why he's, I think, stopping to show and play Star Citizen, is because he's realizing like this is not good for him and his brand to do, because he, like, okay, someone I heard Salty Mike refer to Summit as like on the Mount Rushmore of streamers. He absolutely is. Like this guy knows the biz, you know, like he knows what it takes to succeed. Obviously, look how many views he's got. Like over 10K, sometimes like 15K views. Like you got titty streamers not even getting 5K views. Like the best of them. Like what's her name? Amaranath. She's got like 5K views. That's it. And she's like letting it all hang, you know what I'm saying? And someone's got 15K just from video game streaming and reacting and his charisma, right? Like that should tell you something about how good he is. And he's just basically coming out like he's not even really doing anything that special. It's just like this sort of like take that he has. You have to understand it is coming from a place of competence and of understanding of like what it is that he's talking about. So he's going to say like it's embarrassing for him to stream Star Citizen because it's basically shit. It's a shit experience for the streamer due to like the lack of content that he's getting. Anyway, I'll let him go on about it himself.
It's embarrassing, actually. I feel like a shit streamer 90% of my day for like the last like 3 weeks. Thinking to myself the whole time, like, dude, the content's there. You just gotta learn to find it. The content's there. You just gotta learn to find it. No, it's fucking not.
Right. So when he's going like the content's there, you just gotta learn to find it. That's I think what he's saying there is like this is what I was telling myself, but also I think he's saying this is what my chat is telling me too. This is what the SC Moron White Knights are saying in my chat to me. You just gotta like do this and that, and basically putting the blame on him for not finding the content. And Summit's point is like, look, I've listened to you. I've taken an honest look at myself. I've tried to improve in the ways that you guys are saying that I need to, that I think maybe I do have to improve in. And I've been doing it for weeks now, taking your word on it. And the fact at the end of the day, the end result is you are wrong. I'm not, it's not anything that I'm doing that is deficient. It's just the game. That's just the game. It just sucks in that way. It's a pretty big way for it to suck, by the way, but again,
Content's there. You just gotta learn to find it. The content's there. You just gotta learn to find it. No, it's fucking not. More people's not gonna fix the problem if you can't find people in dead space. And you only find people. What are you going to be doing when the server meshing gets added? I'll tell you what you're going to be doing. You're going to go to locations and you're going to camp them. Okay? Your gameplay is going to stay the same. You're just going to hope for more people.
So Summit's basically just pointed to, rightly, that his issue with the game, the thing that's making his experience suck and anybody else's suck that's trying to do the same kind of basic shit, is it has to do with the problem with the game itself, the core of its design. Not even like to do with bugs or forget all that soul crushing unplayable nonsense. That still is exactly how the game is. Like, even if all that was gone, someone's saying like the actual design of the game is bad in this way, and because ultimately, even if the dream comes true, we have the server meshing, it works fucking amazing. Let's say flawlessly, your frames are still high, all that. You're still gonna be like when you're pirating camping places and waiting for people like the way he is. It's just gonna. He's just saying like there's gonna be more people that go. You're gonna have more encounters, but you're still gonna be doing that same kind of waiting around. Shit.
people. What are you going to be doing when the server meshing gets added? I'll tell you what you're going to be doing. You're going to go to locations and you're going to camp them. Okay? Your gameplay is going to stay the same. You're just going to hope for more people.
You're gonna hope for more people. There's no guarantee that when server meshing is actually a thing, if it ever is, that you're actually going to run into more people. There's no guarantee of that. It like the fact whether or not you run into more people or not, it's dependent on other things than just the number of people there. It depends on like how focal is the point that you're waiting for them at. There's all kinds of other variables there too. But what's going to remain the same is that you're going to be trying to encounter them in the same way, at least in the way the game is looking like it's going to be like indefinitely. That is the sort of thing that you can expect, that someone can expect, that anybody can expect if they're trying to like pirate and do the same kind of shit he is.
See, this guy says it himself. I stopped watching your stream because Star Citizen was just sitting around.
There you go.
It's honestly, like I said, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing when I'm in positions like that, and I'm like trying to make it entertaining. And what can I do? I look over at the chat and I just interact with people. Like, oh, what's up with that? Oh, this and that. Oh, that and that. Oh, thanks for the dono. Oh, thanks for the sub. Oh, this and that. Oh, that and that. Look in the sky for a little bit. Look in the sky for a little bit. Oh, this and that. Oh, this and that. Oh, this and that. And it's embarrassing as fuck. Because I know exactly what's going on. You know exactly what's going on. I'm sitting there just trying to fucking fill dead air.
It's just more of what I was saying. He's just building up to the breakup. He's been building up to it for weeks, ever since he even started playing, really. I've already got the episodes out, the previous episode showing Summer complaining about the game and encountering soul-crushing bugs and unplayableness. This is nothing new. This is just like, he's really... Okay, you can think of it in two ways. Either he was paid by CIG to play Star Citizen, which I think it's a very strong probability, or he really gave it his best effort to like. He really tried. He actually sacrificed his own happiness to give Star Citizen as much of a chance as he possibly could. He went through hell to give it a good chance. For like a month, for like an even 30 days, 31 days.
They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can jump into no man's land and then fucking slide on into that bitch from some fucking random angle. There ain't no way you're catching that shit. So the only RMC people you actually catch are the idiots. The people that are just like, oh, where do we go? Area 18.
So like, here's... He's coming in hot with this react. Like, he's really mad already. Understandably. But what he's really pointing to here is that even the gut, like, even when sometimes you get the gameplay that you want, it's very rare. But when you get it the way you want, which is a very reasonable expectation of the kind of gameplay that he wants to have. It's reasonable for someone to expect it, to get some content like that. But even when he's getting that content, it's what he's saying is like it's the worst of the worst. So of the guys that are doing the kind of things that he would like to like pirate, he's only able to get the guys that are basically making big mistakes. He's saying they're idiots and whatnot. That's just another way of saying is they're not playing it as safely as they easily could have. Now, why that's important is what that means is like if people are actually competent about doing the thing that they're trying to do, that he's pirating them in the process of, then he would never actually be successful in pirating. And what that ultimately means is there's no pirating in the game. Because like if you're dependent on people being total idiots in order to get content, Like, what do you think that means about how often you're going to be able to get that content? And that's by this is all a direct result of the way the game is designed. This is the fault of the design of the game, not even the implementation of the game. This is the fault of the actual design, the thinking out, like how much it's been thought out. It's bad design. It's not even bad programming in this case, which it is as well. There's like one of the biggest problems is the bad programming and the bugginess and the unplayableness, but this points to bad design.
All right, let's go there. I guess we're going. That's who you catch. Because you're not catching anyone who has a brain. At all.
What do you expect when you're playing Star Citizen? These guys spend thousands of dollars on this piece of shit already. What kind of brains do you think they have?
And it consolidates your bullets from magazines into your other magazines.
Yeah, he's gonna get into the clutter, this pointless clutter all over the place. It has to be dragging the server performances down.
It's not like those magazines go to 0 bullets and your guy throws it on the fucking ground. They poof. They're gone. Just do the same shit, bro. Get these stupid fucking boxes off the ground and these stupid water bottles and sodas off the ground. Just make them fucking poof when you drink them. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody gives a fuck if they're fucking there still. It's not gonna hurt their fucking immersion. I promise you they want their game to work better. It's just like, fuck, if you alone are responsible throughout your day for fucking 7 to 15 fucking medical gowns and 20 to 40 fucking water bottles, what does that mean for a server with 100 people going in and out for fucking 5 days? And it consolidates your bullets from...
Right, so just a second.
Magazine.
What's interesting about that is it just points to like something very, very obvious. If Summit is telling developers about something that is really obviously wrong, that means it's extra obviously wrong. That means they already know how wrong it is, and yet they're just decided not to do nothing about it. Like the developers have just accepted that there's going to be this big strain on the server from all this clutter, and this clutter is not enhancing of the game experience whatsoever. Nobody cares that you can leave a bottle on the ground for like days and it's still going to be there. No one wants that. No one cares about that. That does not improve anybody's game performance, obviously. And the fact that again that someone's bringing up is just reinforces like how obvious it is and how obvious it would have been to developers, and it just points to that they don't really give a shit about fixing anything and how little effort they put into actually making the game a half decent enjoyable experience for anybody.
Making a gameplay loop isn't a priority at all. Creating the tech...
All right, so what I like about this clip is some morons in chat. He basically says something to the equivalent of, "But it's an alpha," and Summit like gives he's just fed up at this point, so he gives an actual honest reaction to somebody like that. He very little sugarcoating is about to happen. Very little diplomacy is about to be applied. He's starting to not care.
Next best thing is Ghost Hollow. Making a gameplay loop isn't a priority at all. Creating the tech under the game is the most important right now. Suck my nuts. I don't give a flying fuck about answers like that. Especially when the game's been out for so fucking long.
Thank you.
I don't need excuses like that. If I don't fucking like it, why do I even need the excuse? Huh? You think that's gonna make me like it? Is that gonna make me enjoy myself more next time I play it? In the back of my head, I'm thinking, it's fine. This is for the future. Nah, man. How fucking far into the future do I need to foresee this bitch? God damn it.
Yeah, so it's like a couple points here that are pretty noteworthy. One is like, dude is like, oh, it's an alpha, and Summit is basically saying, I'm not even really complaining about the implementation, about the bugs, about the unplayableness. I'm complaining about the way it's intended, the actual core of the experience as part of its intention. It's not good. I'm not having fun with it. And I'm never gonna have fun with it, no matter how good they actually improve, no matter how many of the bugs they get rid of, no matter how playable it becomes, no matter how smooth it runs. This core design sucks, and it makes me not have fun with the game. So there's that point, and then he has the second point.
In my head, I'm thinking, it's fine. This is for the future. Nah, man. How fucking far into the future do I need to foresee this bitch?
All right, so his point there is that, like, how far in the future do I have to foresee? It's like, it's very easy to foresee a future where, you know, you can imagine, okay, what if the game worked properly? What if it actually ran? You know, it wasn't just a buggy mess. That's easy to foresee, right? But what he's implying is, like, in order to foresee a future where I actually like the game, I would essentially have to foresee so far into the future that the game becomes just a completely different game. Like, it evolves and evolves and evolves, several mutations, and to the point where it's not even the same game anymore, not even remotely, in very, very fundamental ways. And then maybe if that happened, then it would address the core of what's wrong with it in his view. But like how can anybody be expected to envision that kind of future in a game? Like, you could literally, if everyone was expected to judge a game based on what it might turn into, possibly like a very, very low chance of becoming, with really no indication that it's even moving that direction at all, that's just not a good clapback. You know, someone saying, you know, look to the future. There's no real future. That's essentially saying we should be doing all the work, all the conceptual design work for the developers, and just assume for some fucking reason that the devs are actually taking the game in some weird way that we just imagined when we got creative with in our own heads to kind of imagine it actually being good and better in some way. That is just utter ridiculousness.
How many, that someone else will go on, maybe, potentially.
So he's just getting mad again at the lack of fun gameplay here, and explaining, like, things that he's learned, trying his best to make piracy work in the game.
That someone else will go on, maybe, potentially, probably fucking not in this server. You want me to choose this one place out of 10 of these places, and then you want me to choose one direction out of 10 directions and hope that I run into one of these motherfuckers. That's what you want me to do right now.
So somebody's, like, trying to say, like, oh, you can find the content, you just gotta, like, look for rock miners, like, you know. And he's just kind of, like, running through, like, how unlikely it is that you're actually gonna find any kind of rock miner.
That's how you find an ROC miner? Come on, bruh. How many fucking breakdowns, how many fucking fractions do we need to put this down into before we're like, yep, those are the motherfuckers we're going for? You know what I mean? Yeah, out of all these guys, these ones. Maybe. But they're probably not on the server, though.
So Buddy, he's making fun of the guy now. Whoever said that in his chat, poor fool. He's like, oh yeah, you want this piracy content? Just look for these rock miners, right? And Summit's like, so of all the possible dudes that we could be pirating, we're now going to just focus on this very narrow subset of piratable people, and we're going to have to do something very, very specific to find them that has a very, he's going into how low the chances that he's actually going to find them, and just kind of like laying it on the table. What a stupid comment that is. But that's just such a typical normal comment for these SC White Knight morons. They will say anything to try to like clap back, that when they're basically they're being shown how trash their game is. And here we have. This is the last one.
Now realizing the core element.
This is the coup de grace, shall we say? This is like when all the talking's been talked, and it's time to get your girl out the door, and it's completely Jover. That's this moment right here.
Now realizing the core element of the game is kind of faulty. I don't see a way that you can fix that. But we'll see. I'll be on the outside looking in. But not for a little while I partake, I think.
See you later. I wish you all the best. And I hope you find the love you deserve someday.
He's done. It's to, I've given it like extra chances too, Chad. Given it extra time. I've given it extra chances.
We've given it a good run. We gave it a good run. We had our fun.
Now realizing the core
this.
element of the game is kind of faulty. I don't see a way that you can fix that. But we'll see. I'll be on the outside looking in.
Every single one of us.
I partake, I think. I think SC's done. It's to, I've given it like extra chances too, Chad. Given it extra time. I've given it extra chances.
After watching Summit,
now realizing that you can
break up with the SC community, I feel like, no lie, I know exactly what every girl he's ever broken up with has been through in the process of breaking up, and what that tells me is like his breakups were probably some of the best breakups ever. Like I feel like his ex-girlfriends probably walked away from their breakups feeling not too bad about it, feeling like they were treated fairly in the relationship, and that the breakup was actually a decent breakup. Like it definitely had its unpleasant moments where voices were being raised and the emotions were kind of negative, but at the same time, it all needed to be said. It all needed to be said for both parties to move on and get closure, right? That's essentially what's happened here. SC or Summit has gotten closure on Star Citizen. Not to say he could maybe pop in for SC still after this point, but just like you get with your ex, from now and then, just happens, but it doesn't change anything about the relationship being bad. So, and it doesn't change anything about what's been committed to and what's no longer committed to. I think maybe I'll throw this one in here because this was kind of funny. I typed something in Summit's chat when I was watching his stream, and he actually read it and made him laugh. So what happened just moments before was these two C2s fought, and one of them got blown up by the other outside of one of these places he was camping. but it wasn't clear that they were going to be enemies at first. It seemed like they were kind of sniffing each other's out. Anyway.
C2s are territorial by nature, yeah. So good, dude. So good. I thought they were going to trust each other and both go in. Then all of a sudden, one was like, yeah, fuck that. It just started. Just go.